Hello and welcome back to the channel. So in this lecture we are going to discuss about the security in cloud computing. So in the previous lecture we have seen all about the virtualization and how it is implemented in the cloud computing. So now let's discuss about what is security and the different aspects. So without further ado, let's get into it. So security in cloud computing is a very major concern, as you're storing the data in the cloud servers which is far away from your organization. So data in cloud should be stored in encrypted form. So to restrict the client from accessing your shared data directly, we can use the proxy or a brokerage service for improving the security of our data. Now let's discuss about the security planning. So before deploying a particular resource to the cloud, we should know and analyze several aspects of the resources which I have given here. The first one is, which is very important, that you have to select the resources that needs to be moved to the cloud, and you have to analyze its sensitivity to the risk. So if the data is not that sensitive or confidential, then you can easily choose it to be uploaded to the cloud. The next one is, you have to consider the different service models in cloud computing, which we have discussed in the previous lectures, such as infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. So these models require customer to be responsible for security at different level of service, as these services will have some different security levels that we will see in the next topic. The third type is, you should consider the different cloud types such as public cloud, private cloud, community, or a hybrid cloud, which also has their own security rules. And the last one is, you have to understand the cloud service provider system about the data storage and its transfer into and out of the cloud. It is also very important. So this risk in cloud deployment mainly depends upon the service model and the cloud types. So now we will understand the security of cloud. And the first topic will be the security boundaries. So a particular service model defines the boundary between the responsibility of service provider and the customer, which is also known as a shared responsibility. So Cloud Security Alliance, which is also known as CSA, is a stack model which defines the boundaries between each service model and shows how different the functional units relate to each other. So this following diagram will show you the CSA stack model. So this is the boundary for a IaaS, this one is for PaaS, and the outer one is for SaaS. So what it really means, that we will see now. So these are some key takeaways from the CSA model that we have just seen. So the first point is, IaaS is the most basic level of service, with the PaaS and SaaS are next to above the level of services. The next is, moving upwards, each of the service inherits their own capabilities and the security concerns of the model beneath. The next one is, IaaS will provide the infrastructure, the PaaS provides the platform for development environment, and the SaaS provides the operating environment. So these all are very different from each other, which has their own boundaries with respect to security. The next one is, IaaS has the least level of integrated functionalities and the integrated security, while the SaaS has the most of these capabilities. The next one is, this model will describe the security boundaries at which the cloud service provider's responsibilities ends and the customer responsibility begins. And the last one is, any security mechanism below the security boundary must be built into the system and it should be maintained by the customer. So although each service models has the security mechanism, the security needs also depend upon where these services are located. So it should be in private cloud or a public cloud or a community or a hybrid cloud. It totally depends on the confidentiality of the data that you are putting into cloud. So now let's understand the data security. So since all the data is transferred using the internet, data security is a very major concern in the cloud. So here I have given the key mechanism for protecting our data. So these are access control, auditing, authentication, and authorization. I don't think they need an introduction, as you're already aware of these four. So all of those service models should incorporate some security mechanism which is operating in all these areas. Now we will see the isolated access to data. So since data stored in cloud can be accessed from anywhere in the world, we must have a mechanism for isolating that data and protect it from client's direct access. So brokered cloud storage access is a good approach for isolating storage in the cloud. So in this approach, these are the two services that I have given here are created. The first one is a broker with full access to storage, but it should not have access to client. And the second one is a proxy with no access to storage, but access to both client and broker. So these are the two mechanisms we use for isolating our data. So now we will see all about the working of brokered cloud storage access system. So this is the graphical representation of the steps which is followed by this access system. So we will discuss it step by step. So when the client issues a request to access the data, the first step will be this client data request will go external service interface of proxy. Then the proxy will be forwarded the request to the broker. After that, the broker requests the data from cloud storage system. After that, the next one is the cloud storage system will return the data to the broker, and the broker returns the data to proxy. And at the last, finally the proxy sends the data to the client. So this is the process for accessing the data from cloud storage. And at last, we will see the importance of encryption. So encryption will help us to protect data from being compromised. So it protects the data that is being transferred as well as the data which is already stored in the cloud. Although this encryption helps to protect the data from any unauthorized access, it does not prevent the data loss. So you need to keep in mind that the data loss might happen even if you implemented the encryption. So in this lecture, we have seen what is security in cloud computing, in which we have seen all about the security planning. Then we have seen the Cloud Security Alliance, which is known as CSA, as well as we have seen some key takeaways from the CSA model. After that, we have seen the key mechanisms for protecting the data in cloud. After that, we have also seen the isolated access to data and how to implement it, and the working of brokered cloud storage access system. So I hope you like this lecture, so please subscribe to our channel and ring the notification bell to get the latest updates. And don't forget to follow us on our social media that I have linked in the description below. Thanks for watching.